I like your sweater. It's really cool.
Thank you. It was like $4 from a secondhand shop.
We love it. One of the best finds are.
How are you? Have you had a coffee? Are you like alive to do this?
I am alive to do this. It's been a pretty crazy few months
Yeah.
promoting a couple of projects, but honestly, I'm loving it, and I think the sort of the excitement for the idea of you has just been very very humbling. So yeah, I'm more than happy to chat.
Well, thank you. I'm so grateful that you're here. This movie felt like it was made for me. It also, like, I wasn't expecting it to be quite funny. You're very charming. I need to know what the hell made you take this role.
I mean, other than working with an Oscar-winning actress and a fantastic director and a great script and the chance to be in a boy band, and I mean, honestly, you could just go on and on and on and on. I think like the script, especially, you kind of read the breakdown, you think, oh, this is kind of quite a heightened world, a pop star falling in love with a 40-year-old woman from Silver Lake, and but then I started reading it, and the tone was immediately really distinct. I think, like you mentioned before, there's a lot of humor in it. There's a lot of heart in it. There's sort of very fun, sort of broad elements, but also very kind of grounded concepts like aging and fame and its effect on love and being taken seriously and not a joke. And so I just was really, really touched by it. And I think when you can feel the chemistry between two characters on page, that makes actually trying to fulfill that was so much more exciting. And then, meeting Annie, I kind of knew that we had something straight away.
Oh, it's palpable. The chemistry is so hot. It's so there. I'm obsessed. I loved, this isn't even a question, but the line that she delivers, and it's like, oh, these were thrown, and then you say them at the wall, and the delivery was just iconic. I like wrote that down thinking, I need to bring this up because it's like,
That one's funny but as well because that was one of my audition scenes, and we ended up doing that a couple times, and then we in the audition we would Annie and I would sort of improvise for like a couple minutes and then come back to the script, and there was a fear when we finally got to filming that like we'd done it so many times that was it
yeah.
still going to be fun. I think like we just had such a blast doing it, and luckily the humor was still
Yeah,
there.
it's still funny. It's definitely still funny. I run a publication called Shit You Should Care About. And so I don't want to waste your time or my time talking about things you don't care about. Is there a question that you're sick of being asked?
I don't know. I mean,
This can be quite a disarming question because you also don't want to shit on any of the
no,
previous.
yeah, there is that. I mean, look, people. Truthfully, there's not a question that I am sick of hearing because I think the two that we really get a lot are the chemistry, because I think it's maybe taken a lot of people by surprise, or it's as you said, I think it's really really palpable, and so like that's probably the thing that Annie and I get the most. But we're really happy to talk about it because actually I think that the way we kind of found out that we had chemistry was really bizarre and special. Well, I've never left a chemistry test, an audition like this being so creatively filled. Usually these rooms are kind of a little bit awkward to negotiate. And I remember we did it and I kind of left the room smiling, and I was thinking, if I don't get this, I'll be really gutted. But I'm so proud of that kind of special moment that we had with each other.
Well, I'm glad that you're not sick of being asked any of these questions because I didn't want you to be sitting there rolling your eyes like, Lucy, I've been asked this before, shut up. Well,
No.
then I have to know. You obviously play Hayes, ish, somewhat brooding boy band member. You auditioned for a boy band, couldn't play any instruments before you got into the boy band, and we band boot camp before filming. What can you explain that to me?
I mean, it was crazy. We had about 3 weeks or so beforehand where, I had to do vocal lessons. I had to go off to Sweden to record about 7 songs in the space of a couple of days. I had to do as much dance training as was allowed in the day, and you know, like I come from a very sporting background, and so there was a certain like rigidity in my body that I think I needed to kind of get rid of, and that's
Rugby.
especially difficult. Well, exactly. You know, the Aussies, you get it. It's a very different thing, and so I
I'm nearly
I knew he
Aussie.
was okay because I was gonna say I heard the New Zealand, you know, like, oh yeah, cheer, bro, how's it going? You know, like sing songy kind of.
Well, we know
Listen,
rugby far better than the Aussies, so
I have to say I am I'm basically a what's the word? Not complimentary, but a honorary Maori at this point because I've been obsessed with New Zealand culture since I was a kid, and especially the All Blacks. And I got invited onto my god, what's the Maori word? I'm forgetting it. The sort of the marae. I got invited onto a really beautiful marae, and so anyway, I'm sorry. I could talk about New Zealand all day long. It's just it holds a very special place in my heart, and so I'm sorry that I called you Nazi because there's nothing worse as a New Zealander.
but that was the most beautiful derailment to this interview because you know what? I hope that's a question. I hope that's something that you haven't had to answer today. And I've just been told that was actually my last question. And what better bloody way to end Gorge interview on? This has been great. You're amazing. I'm obsessed with you and the movie.
It was such a joy speaking. I hope we get to do an interview in person for my next New Zealand premiere.
You can request that, okay? And I will
I
too.
will. I will.